So today we're going to be doing we're going to be going over how to like get started with React to make a to-do app. So first, I don't know if you guys know what React is, so we'll go over that a little bit. It's a JavaScript library for building user interfaces. It's a very kind of lofty title, right? But what it is basically like it just makes it relatively easy compared to without it to actually display stuff on your page, like your web page, interactively. And the best way to kind of understand what it's doing is to like get started using it. So, oh yeah, by the way, it is in JavaScript if you didn't know that. We're going to be writing JavaScript today. So first, if you haven't already, download VS Code. Visual Studio Code is like many programmers' editor of choice. It's code editing redefined. Anyway, just go to code.visualstudio.com and make sure to get Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio. I don't know how Microsoft, made two editors with almost the same name, but just download it. And then the next thing you need to download and install is Node.js. And this is the thing that runs JavaScript on your computer. And so for us, we will do 14.14.0 current. So download and install that one too. And is somebody recording this? I think one of our moderators should be recording this. So I was just checking. You might hear me talk to somebody else. They're in the same room, so I'm just trying to get my updates. So once you downloaded this, open up Visual Studio Code, and I think I have to reshare my screen. So hold on. Does this look grayed out to you guys? That's good. Okay. So go to File, Open Folder, and create a new folder. So HackNC, Workshop, React. Oh God, I gotta add some dashes in there. And then you click Create, and you just click Open, OK on the folder. And then so now you have an empty thing. Go to Terminal, New Terminal, and type node -- version. So if you installed npm, it should have the correct node version. And npm is it stands for Node Package Manager, but the programmers don't like to type much, right? So just say npm -- version, and that should also give you something like this too. I don't think the numbers have to be exact, but I think that's probably enough, right? So anyway, do npm I and install React. Let's see what the official React docs say. So let's go to docs, getting started. Let's see here. I think they're adding React to website. Add React in 1 minute. That's us. Your entire screen is grayed out. Okay, that's what I was asking. I was asking if it's grayed out. Let me just reshare then. Okay, is this good? Okay. So let's go. I think we want the tutorial actually. See here, setup for the tutorial, local development environment, create React app. Okay, we need to install React and React DOM. So let's install those two things. And now let's create some files. Or actually, you know what? I think it would probably be better just to do npx create React app. So let's just run that one. So just run this command, which will set up the starter code for us inside of the my app folder. And the reason I didn't want to do this earlier is because it installs a lot of packages, and I don't even really know what's going on. So definitely we'll have to like try some stuff out. but it's supposed to make it easier. But if something breaks like within the install, it's really painful to like try and fix it. But anyway, this seems like it might take a little bit to install. So while it's installing, let's just go over what's going on here. Delete all the files in the source folder of the project. So I think by default it includes some stuff that like we don't really need, like just like hello world type stuff. And then you have to import the React library, import the React DOM, import index.css. Okay, they give a lot of keywords for you, like, oh, this React is really good, but we don't have to worry about that. We just kind of look at the code. So looking at this code, there's a shopping list component, and render means like display results on screen, and it returns this stuff. So I don't know if you guys have learned much HTML, but basically the way it is, div stands for like, it's kind of like division or box or container. So it's like a shopping list box. And in the shopping list box, there's a header one. It's like a big font thing. And it says shopping list for props is the argument passed to the container. It's like you might say shopping list name equals Mark. So then it would say shopping list for Mark here. UL stands for unordered list. LI stands for list item. So it's a bulleted list of Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus. That just seems like Facebook's companies. Anyway, let's see if this is finished. Okay. And so we want to run npm start cd my app npm start. And let me fix the screen share. Hold on. Okay, so if you run npm start, this is what you guys should get. Edit source/app.js and save to reload. Okay, so let's do what the article says, or the tutorial. So it says remove the stuff inside of source. So let me share the VS Code. Okay, so go into source, or here we can open a new terminal. See how there's two now, npm and bash. And we'll say ls for list. The stuff in there was go cd my app, ls cd source, ls, and it said remove everything. So we'll try it out. And then it says add a file named index.css in the source folder with this CSS code. Let me do a new share. Okay, so let's look at this CSS code. Now let's just do our own CSS code. It'll be fine. Okay, I think that's too annoying. So let's just say index.css. And we'll create a new source file in here too. We'll say index.js. It just okay, let me share again for VS Code. So all I did was I hovered over the source. I did right click in the new file and I created these two empty files. So going back to the website, let's see here what JS code does it want us to put in. Also the same one. Let's see here. React.render, react.on.render game document.get element by ID root. Let's add this to the top of index.js.
Also, Nick, let me know when you want to answer some questions.
Just tell me if there's a question.
Okay, so Rizio Blue said, do we install tools for native modules?
Rizio Blue, can you elaborate what you mean by install tools for native modules? I have no idea what that is. Well, what is Rizio Blue installing? Is it npm or VS Code? Probably Node.
It was one of the prompts in the Node.js
Yeah, I think yes. I've never had to do this. Let me scroll down on this and see. Install the extra tools. Yes, you should install this. Oh, if you have 3 gigabytes of free space, you should install it. Otherwise, I don't know, try not installing it and we'll see what happens.
Seagull13 asks, what commands do you put in the terminal?
Let me go back to the terminal. Someone's recording this, right? Okay, yeah. We got somebody recording this, so hopefully you guys should be able to go back to it. But anyway, so there's 2 terminals. npm, what I did was I npm start. Let me see if I can make this bigger. See here, font size. Debug console font size 18. Terminal integrated font size. Okay. There we go. I think you guys should be able to see this now. So I did npm start, and that like loads the web server. And then I made a second terminal. I did ls for list, cd for change directory, ls for list the stuff inside of my app, cd source, ls. rm star means remove everything in the folder you're in currently. It's like star usually means everything. Is that all the questions, Amar? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and render this little shopping list. So going back to my browser, just copy and paste this. No programmer likes to really type any code. They're all lazy. Copy and paste. I think we say react dom dot render, and it takes an element and a container. So say shopping list, and we'll also pass in document.get element by ID root. I think that's what they want us to do earlier. So let's see. So we'll go back to the go back to the npm terminal, and we'll see that you can view. So we go to that URL localhost 3000, which is only running on your computer. Let me do a new share just to show you guys. Honestly, this new share is getting annoying, but we can't have the dim screen. So, okay. So now we have a shopping list. So as you can tell, React is for like displaying dynamic stuff on the web page. Making interactive component, that's what we want. So let's have a button when we on click, it'll add a new to do for us. So let's say button on click function alert click. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. So inside this shopping list container, we'll say, let me reshare. Amar, please alert me if I am not sharing what I'm talking about. Okay, so we'll say button on click equals function alert hi. I think that's it. And then reshare. Let's go to browser and go back to root. Oh no, there's error. Oh no, I think it's okay. So it works. We just need to add some text to our button. So going back to the code here, let's just look at a little bit. So on click means whenever you click the button, actually run this function, which we define inside here. So whenever the button is clicked, run this function, the function pulls up an alert. But later during this, if we have a time, we will have the button like we'll do other interaction functionality. But let's go back to the documentation, let's look at this together, and then see if we can figure out how to actually save some variables. So what's up, Amar?
Ron said a few of the 110 students viewing the stream are confused because they want you to go line by line.
Okay. Do you guys, if you guys want me to go line by line, no problem. So let me go back to the code. So line 1, import. It's like it takes in a code library and it that someone else has made, and then we're able to use the functionality that they made. So we don't have to write like hundreds or thousands of lines of code to do this. We can just use their stuff. Same for React DOM. Import index.css. It means like any CSS we write in here. So if we write like li color blue, save this, I'll reshare. So see, it changes to blue. So like we'll go over, we might go over a little bit more CSS, but that's just, you know, if we wanted to like see it.
Another question.
Yeah.
Sunny Queen said, hey, can you tell me what npm installed to create the React environment?
Okay, so previously we were doing npm install, but then I realized that it's not the right move for this because we want like this nice developer experience where it has like this pretty colors and like it reloads your page for you. So you can skip the npm install part and you can just run instead. You can run what was on the tutorial, but it's npx create. Honestly, I already forgot. So let me look back on the thing. Let's see here. I think local development. Yes, npx create React app my app right here. So I'll go back to going over the code a little bit. So you import the index.css. That means like any CSS that's in the index.css will actually like apply to the page. We create a new class shopping list and we take from the React component. So classes are kind of complicated. I honestly don't know how much I want to get into it here, but basically it's like you can imagine a class as a blueprint. So like you might like have like a house or a house blueprint, and then you can create many houses from the same blueprint. So we can create many shopping lists from this one shopping list class and use them in our page. And if anybody has any like more specific questions, I can take those too. And so inside of the shopping list component, there's one function called render. And what render does is it displays the information on the page, and it's a function that takes in nothing, as you can see with the parentheses, and it returns a HTML element basically. So in this case, we return, and whatever is returned from render will be updated on the page is the idea. So we return the shopping list div or box, and inside of the div or box we have a button. Actually, let me share the screen. Well, let's inspect the code a little bit. So if you go on the web page and you right click inspect element, you should see that here's the shopping list. It goes over, you know, it's this box, and inside of the box there's a button, and there's a header, there's an unordered list. Inside of the unordered list there are list items, you know, that just has some text. See, it's not too bad. I mean, it might be a lot of new content, but you guys should definitely be able to get through it, no problem. Or like, you know, figure it out eventually. It took me a long time to figure all this stuff out, and I'm just trying to express it to you in a way that hopefully makes sense and you can like eventually get. So that button that's empty is kind of bothering me. So let me just test. I think that should work now. Yeah, okay. So how's everybody doing? Anybody got any questions? Okay. So going back to the tutorial, let's look at making interactive component. So if we want to have state in the object, we got to do have this constructor. So what state is it's like variables that you will store inside of your object, basically. And everybody in the front end JavaScript world is always going on and on and on and on and on and on about state. Like, how do you manage it? Because like you can imagine with a complex form, you know, like you're filling out for your bank or something online. There's like 10 different fields that you need to have like errors for, and like they all need to show up at different times. They all need to be validated to be like, make sure this is a number, this is a phone number, this is a credit card. And so that's like a lot of state, you know, a lot of different things to display on your page, a lot of booleans, like if validation error on phone number, then display phone number error, whatever. So anyway, that was just kind of a side note to explain what state is. Constructor means like when you're creating the Square object, do this stuff, execute this code. And so let's just copy and paste this, and we'll go back to the app. Like the code, and we'll put that in there above render. So like we now have another function. Oh god, let me turn on my settings. Let's see here. Let's go to format. Format on save. Let's see here. Okay, so I think now it should. Yeah, it's formatting a little bit. Okay. So let's. So now what we can do is we can say, let's just have one of the list items be this dot state. So if you want to display something on the web page that's like a variable, you have to put a curly brace and then another curly brace, and then put the variable name or like actual code inside of them. And then instead of saying on, doing the on click, we will try and change the state. So we'll say we have to do an arrow function now because we're using this, and we'll change, say this dot set. And in React, you have to say this dot set state, and then say like what you're setting. So we'll say value button clicked. Now I'll save this, do a new share, my favorite, context switching. Oh no. Let's see here. So there is objects are not valid as a React child. Okay, so now we gotta do some bug finding. So we have this, we have this, we have this. Let's see if we remove this, does it actually work? Okay, and if you look at this screen, it works. So let's go back to the tutorial. Let's see what it says. So button this dot state dot value. So it should be that it's like null, and then after you click it, it's X. So let's go back to the code. Let's see if we can figure this out. And please, if anybody knows what's wrong, let me know. You know, I'm not perfect. This dot state dot value. Test that again. Okay, yes. I think I just wrote the wrong thing. It works now. I didn't alt tab, but it works. So now let me go to the web browser, and we'll see what happens when you click test. Wow, it updated the page dynamic. Is that amazing? Yeah, I got an update from one of the directors that I fucked up. I didn't put value. So thank you for that. Let me close these. So we have it actually display some interactivity. Let's see if we can add an input. So we can add a custom custom thingy. So I'll switch back to the code. We'll say input, I think it's on change equals, we're figuring it out, you know. I think we pass in a, let's see it's passed in. We'll say console.log C. I think it's like this, right? So let's share the screen. Okay, so now go to right click, inspect element, go to console, type something. So we're definitely getting something. Let's drop down this object. Let's see what we're getting. I think we're getting an event of some kind. Okay, I think you go to target. Honestly, I don't know what's going on, so let's just Google it. React input. On change, event.target.value. Okay, let's just try paste. Let's just try writing that out. One of the directors is providing a very helpful commentary about how I'm just forgetting value all over the place. You know, it's fine. Reshare. Okay, yeah, so it actually stores what we want. So let's go back to the code. And we'll say, we'll add another thing to the state. We'll say not value this time. We'll say input this, I think that's fine. And then we'll say inside of here, we'll say this dot set state, and they'll just say what we're changing. So input, and then it will be c dot target dot value. And so it should, and then we'll have instead of logging this dot state dot value, we'll say this dot state dot input. So going back to the, okay, I guess I shouldn't type in an alt tab immediately. I guess I should let you guys like see what I'm doing. Okay, so again, we're adding another item to the state. This dot state equals value input, which is a string. And we're saying on change. I'll change this to event because that's what it really is, like the on change event. So we're saying whenever you get an event, run this function inside here, and then all this function does is it sets the state of input equal to event.target.value. And then it should display this whatever we type as a list item. So let me share my screen again. Okay. Oh, wow, it works. Isn't that crazy? So now what we want to do is we want to add a new list item whenever we hit test, or I'll change it to add or something. So okay, so we'll remove this input. Oh, does anybody have questions in the Twitch chat? I guess I'm just that good, right? I think, yeah. So instead of having it change the set state button clicked, what we will do is we will say we will have it set the state of to-dos. I think there's some complicated React thing we have to do here. It's like to-dos. It's like we'll say this dot state dot value, this dot state dot to-dos. And what this complicated piece of code does here, I think, is it will say set the to-dos equal to a new list with this value and all of the previous to-dos that were inside the to-do list. And let's give it some default to-dos. Let's say like do my homework, go to class. Actually, nobody goes to class anymore, so we won't say go to class. Actually, does anybody do any homework anymore either, TBH? Say watch Netflix. And let's try and I kind of forgot this, so let's see if we can Google React looping. Okay, listen keys.
Bowser Dawkins said he hasn't done anything in months.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I haven't done anything in months either. So you know what? I'll just say I have COVID or something. It's fine. So if we want to render something, we do the curly brace and it calls list items, right? And list item says list.map and it returns an element. So let's see if we can do that. So I'll go back to the code. Definitely I need to figure out a different method than having to reshare every time. Maybe next time though. Okay, so I'll say this.state.todos.map. That takes in a function. I think we'll say to do, and it will return the li to this dot, or just I think it's just to do, like that. And this is not a shopping list anymore, and there's no name, so let's just change it to do list. Let's see if this works. Go back to the website. Oh wow, I'm surprised it worked. I thought there'd be a bug. Let's see what happens when we add something. So like, click add. Oh, there's a bug. See, it didn't work. It's fine. Each child in a list should have a unique key prop. Check the render. Is that a warning or an error? Let's just assume it's a warning for now. Or let's go back to the documentation and see what it says. I think it's just a warning. Oh, you'll be giving a warning. Okay, I've gotten a warning.
Someone said you need a key for each item.
Wait, well, it says we'll discuss why it's important in the next section. Why are keys necessary? Okay, I'll just add a key. I don't want to read anymore. Okay. So what did they do? They said key equals the string. Okay. So we'll just directly set it. I'm kind of almost sure that you like don't need a key, but it's fine. Like I think it's just less performant if you don't. Okay, whatever. We'll just add a key. To do. The problem with adding to do as a key is it like, what if you have two to dos that are the same thing? I don't know. We'll just do it for now. Because like it's supposed to be unique, right? Bugs. Okay. So let's look at the code here. Let's see what's going on. So set state. Fuck. I said this.state.value instead of input. Fucking value, honestly. Okay, so I think it should work now. So say hi. They'll do. Oh yes, it works. Doesn't that feel pretty good? It feels pretty good for me. So what we want to do too is we want to say when we click add, it will remove this. So now we have to have this like weird double I don't know what it's called, controlled component. So we have to say, we don't have to say bind because we use an arrow function in the code. And this is like what we already have. We just set the state of the value, but instead of value, I put input. Can't let me forget that. And then we just say value equals this dot state dot value. Okay, that's fine. So we'll go back to the code. So say input value equals this dot state dot input. And then when we on click, we will say input, and they'll just change it to empty string. So like when you actually click the button, it will set the state of the input equal to empty string. I'll share the new page. Okay, so like check this works. Click add. Oh, nice. So let's see if we can add a remove button. Like we want to be able to remove to-dos. So inside of each list item, there should be a link, and it should be on click equals this. We'll say this dot set state. To-dos. Honestly, like you have to use this weird syntax to remove stuff. I think we can say this dot. Honestly, I'll just Google it instead of messing around with it. So let me share. Oh, I think I reshared the same thing. React remove list item. Okay, click the first thing. That's fine. Okay, so we have the list.map with the key with the item ID, which is what we were doing. We don't want to do hooks. We're not doing hooks right now. Oh, we have to filter it. Okay, that's fine. So to-dos. So let's go back to the code. We'll say to-dos, this dot state dot to-dos filter. T equals to do. If it equals to do, then we'll keep it. So filter is a function like map. What map does is it will can we like reformat this code? That's fine, I guess. What map does is runs this function on every item of the list and returns a new the result of that function. So like we're changing a list of strings into a list of list items, an array of list items. And then filter, what it does is it will say if the return of the function is true, then keep the item, and if it's false, then don't keep the item. So we'll say if the item is not equal to the to do rule we're removing, then keep it. So let me go back to the page. Let's see if it actually works. Oh, we need to actually put something in the A. So like delete. It's like it can actually show up on the page, right? Oh, it worked. That's crazy. I did not expect it to work. So do add. Damn, we're good. So does anybody have any questions? So it makes sense to everybody, or they're following along relatively well? Okay, so we can start doing some cleaning up and styling. So let's just change this to to-dos. Instead of delete, we'll just make it into an X. And then we'll add a space. Right? Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. So I changed the class name to to-dos right here. And then I changed it from delete to X. And I added a space so it didn't run together. Okay, so I don't really like that it's all blue. So let's change that. I guess just remove color blue. I actually don't know why I can't edit this. Okay. So let's try and center the to-do. So we'll say get the to-do class element. That's the syntax word. So it's like dot means class. We'll say width 200 pixels, margin auto. I believe that will center it. So it's like pretty centered here. We can make it too, so that when actually so are you sure everyone's good? Because honestly, I expected people to not be good. Okay. How many people are on the stream?
46.
46. Wow. So let's like I like hate having to type and then move my hand and my mouse to click the add button. So let's see if we can do it when we hit enter. So let's look at the input. Let's look at the React input docs. Or like we want to see if input events HTML. So like if the input event fires when the value of has been changed, but we want to see if you like press the enter button, if there's an event. So let's see HTML element on click, on change, on focus, on input, on submit when the user submits a form. So we don't have a form, we just have the input button. So let's just Google it, React input, enter, submit, enter key event. On key press. So let's just do that on key press. If the character code is 13, that means we press enter. Let's just try that out. Let me share the code. So input on key press equals event alert if, so we say if event dot key dot char code is equal to 13, then we'll say alert hi. Why is there a strike through? It's deprecated. We'll see if it works anyway. Oh, wow, it worked. I'm pretty surprised too. So let's go back to the VS Code, and we'll say, let's extract some of these functions out. So the button on click, let's just take that one out. I'll just set state. So add to do, this dot set state input, and we'll reformat this so it's a little easier to read. Input to dos, this dot state dot input, this dot state dot to dos. That's it. And then we'll add in, yeah. So we'll say and then the on click we'll change. So let's see if this works. There might be some weird bind error that we need to fix, but basically I just want to reuse the to do so it will work on both. So we'll do new share, create a React app. Oh no, this is undefined. So I think we have to bind it. So yeah, so we'll just say this dot. Let me share my screen again. This dot add to do is equal to this dot add to do dot bind this. I think that's all we need. Let me share again. Okay, let's try it. Let's try hit enter. Awesome. Yeah, so now our to-do list is shaping up a little bit. This is a this is a very common thing to like test out if you can do some code in the front end world, like, hey, can you make this to-do list app? It's like extremely common. So like definitely if you guys can make a to-do app on your own, you're getting most of the way there, and then you could start working on styling and stuff, and your front end should be like way leveled up. I'm not very good at like styling and stuff, so I won't really attempt to do it slowly on the stream. Hold on a sec. Yeah, so I mean that's all I had really planned for today. What did you guys think of the tutorial? Glad to hear it. Thanks. Do you guys want a tutorial on something else? I can record something for later during the hackathon if you want. We could do a full Firebase app. So like you could have your to-do list that's like works on your phone, on your computer and stuff. That's just like connecting this tutorial with the one that I did earlier this week for the week of workshops, which I think I also have to re-record because I fucked up. I didn't include my audio. Okay, yeah, I'll see about doing that one. I think the time for this stream is ending soon, so let me check in with the other directors on what we're going to do. Yeah, honestly, I do so much front end stuff to get to this level. Like, and I'm not even like the best, right? Um, it's it's kind of difficult to basically it's just the amount of practice you've done. Go back. Yeah, no problem. My bad. No profanity. Um, yeah, there is a way to integrate MongoDB into React. What you have to do is you have to make like your own server. I would use probably Express.js, and then you can have like React will call like the URL of the server, and then the server will like return different results. Um, yeah, I've worked with Flask. Yeah, you could use Express or Flask. They're basically the same. I would choose Express because you can have a JavaScript on the front end and the back end. Uh, I mean, I don't think you should learn React unless you want to do front end for your job, right? Or like the way I think about it, kind of the way I like convince myself to learn front end was like people won't use like products that they can't like that one don't look good and then two don't work easily. Like the process for installing an app is so much worse than like just going to a URL. Yeah, I mean, if you can get over the hump, but like I have many friends that like just like algorithms or data structures or like, something else other than React. They just don't do React, and that's like totally fine too. Yeah, I mean, front end is confusing. You just got to get used to it. I think it's just a matter of practice, just like anything else. Like the amount of stuff you have to learn for front end is like kind of ridiculous. Like because you're touching HTML, CSS, JavaScript, different browsers, different browser standards, React, how React works, how all this stuff works, and you like need to know bits and pieces of everything. So it's just like if you put in the time, you just pick up this stuff as you go, and you have these terrible errors you just can't figure out, and then eventually you do figure out. Yeah, I've worked with Angular a little bit. It's similar to React, but I don't think it worked with the newer version. It's kind of more enterprisey feel. So like more boilerplate, maybe easier for a team to use, but I mean Facebook uses React, so apparently that's enough. Yeah, I think the new versions are very similar. I'm not sure. I haven't used it recently. PHP is a little confusing too. I mean, if you can get with the weird syntax and like how browsers call stuff, then I think you should be fine. It's weird getting used to the like going back and forth, like the front end calls this section or like what's going on with the browser and the web requests. You need resources for learning web dev stuff. Hmm. So there's this site that I kind of enjoy. It's like you just like click through this stuff and it like just makes it look a lot better just by clicking. Like and then it like walks you through it. It's called Web Design in 4 minutes. That's just for the design part. In terms of React, I mean, they have a really good tutorial that you can go through. And you can watch this tutorial again. In terms of Express, in terms of like backend stuff, maybe like using Express.js or Flask or something like that, or Pete, whatever you choose, it's fine. You just have to. It's less about the resources and more about the practice you do. Like you can just there are tons of YouTubers who are like doing stuff like intro to React, intro to yeah, there are tons of resources. You just have to find something that's relatively recent. I think you should be good. So I think that's all for the stream today, unless you guys have any questions. Okay. I guess I'll stop sharing. I'll see you later. There's another workshop in 15 minutes, right? Yeah, 15 minutes. It's with Square. Yeah, so please check it out. I think that definitely it's worth it to see how to get payments and how to use like that sort of APIs is very cool. All right, see y'all later.